Hi everyone, today we're going to be making cabbage and fennel soup for St. Patrick's Day as the first video for my spring equinox celebration series. First you're going to want to shred 2 heads of cabbage, or be like me and buy 2 packages of pre-shredded cabbage and then rinse them thoroughly. And you are also going to want 4 bulbs of fennel. You can buy the fennel with the long stalks, it just depends on what's available in your area. Cut the bottoms off and toss them. And then slice the fennel into about 1/2 inch slices, if that's a comfortable size for you. By the way, fennel tastes like black licorice, but I hate black licorice and I love fennel a lot. I ate a lot of it while making this, before the soup was even ready. Then you're going to want to pop the rings out of the fennel and snap the longer pieces of fennel into more manageable lengths. For any pieces that don't snap, like the very bottom rings, you can just cut those. I left them whole and ate them whole. I am a fennel fiend. Then you're going to want to take a large pot and put it over medium heat. I think this is medium heat, maybe a little bit medium high, and lightly coat the bottom of the pot with olive oil. This is just going to be to saute onions and garlic. I'm going to be using chives because that's what was left over in the fridge, but you can use green onions or leeks or regular white onion. I don't like onion, but that's up to you. And I guess you could use red onion, but I don't suggest it. Cut it up into small pieces, and you can take one of those pieces and throw it in the olive oil to see if it's sizzling yet. And then if it is, or when it is, you can go ahead and throw the rest of your chives or whatever in. Give it a quick toss. I'm going to be adding 1/2 teaspoon of crushed garlic. You can also use minced garlic or garlic cloves. My jar of crushed garlic has a measurement chart, so maybe yours does too. I don't know. And then go ahead and stir that for about 2 minutes until everything just gets a little bit brown, and throw in all of your fennel. You're going to want to add some more olive oil once you've added your fennel, just so that your fennel is lightly coated with olive oil, so that while you stir the fennel to get it all soft, none of the fennel is left exposed to the bottom of the pot without a covering layer of olive oil. Gonna add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I like to saute my salt. I have no reason for this, so you can add it later if you want to. And then just let that saute, or whatever this is called, for a while until the fennel loses its crunch. You don't want it to get soft really yet, but you don't want it to be tough anymore. You can just test this by eating the fennel. That's what I did. And then when the fennel is no longer crunchy, go ahead and throw in all of your cabbage. Stir that all up. Look at those vegetables. And after a couple of minutes of letting all of this cook just a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 cartons of chicken stock. You can also use chicken broth or vegetable broth or stock. I prefer chicken stock. It's the most flavorful. It's the most flavorful. If you're using vegetable broth, you're going to want to increase your seasonings because it has a lot less flavor. Don't try to do all of this one-handed. If you can avoid it, your pot will move, your cartons won't stay still, It's just unnecessarily difficult. But that's how I live. And then turn up the heat to help bring your soup to a boil. I don't know why we bring soups to a boil. It's just stew. It's just what you do with soups. You bring it to a boil. I'm going to add a lot of marjoram. I'm going to thoroughly coat the surface of my soup. I found marjoram is really vital to soups. I'm not really sure why. I got the idea from an Italian seasoning bottle. Thought, what's marjoram? I'm gonna add that. Turns out it's a miracle worker. And I think it's a relative or a type of oregano. But to me, it's like saying basil is a type of mint. Like, you're not gonna give someone basil tea and call it mint tea. They're gonna be mad. Don't do that. So it's marjoram, not oregano. Watch me be wrong about this. Then I'm going to add garlic powder. This is why I add so little garlic at the sauteing stage, because I want to really be able to control the garlickiness of my soup. You can make this as garlicky as you want. I added maybe half a tablespoon. No, not that much. Let's say maybe a teaspoon. Then I'm going to add orange peel. You can also add lemon peel. And I'm going to accidentally dump this because the holes are very big and the peel is very small. It worked out because it's very old. If you're using fresh, be careful. I'm going to add cracked pepper off screen. Ended up adding a lot more pepper than this as I cooked the soup so that it would have a pepperiness reminiscent of corned beef. And then I'm going to add about half a cup of white wine vinegar. I found that white wine vinegar in particular goes excellently with cabbage. It really cuts through, like, the cabbage has kind of like a fatty flavor. It really cuts through that. I'm going to add a can of diced tomatoes for some hardiness. Then I'm going to use the water that I rinsed the can out with in the soup. I do this with tomatoes, mushrooms, any canned whatever that I'm adding to soup. It adds extra liquid and extra flavor. I'll let that cook a little bit, and then I'm going to add some parsley, about half the amount of what I did for marjoram. You can also use fresh parsley, but as usual, I forgot that I have fresh parsley in the fridge. Frustrating. Anyway, I don't want the soup to taste like parsley. I don't want someone to eat it and go, oh yeah, I can taste the parsley. I just want a little bit more depth of flavor, and parsley helps add that. As you can see, it's still simmering while I'm adding this. I'm going to add some lemon juice for some brightness, again to kind of cut through like the olive oil flavor and the cabbage flavor. I don't know how to describe it other than brightness. And then I decided to add, I don't know, 15 or 20 baby carrots, chop them up bite size, toss those in. Carrots go great with cabbage. This worked out really well. Good decision. Then I'm just gonna let that cook until everything is soft and tender and the flavors have mellowed and blended. And then I'm gonna put it in a bowl, add some Parmesan crisps, and then I eat it. It was delicious. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about this recipe, just leave me a comment and I will get back to you with answers. Bye! I'm trying to film for YouTube.